Hey, welcome. Today we're going to read some Reddit stories while playing the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 custom zombies map, Quiet Residence Faithful. This map is it's beautiful. Very nice on the eyes. If you have any recommendations for custom zombies maps, let me know down in the comments and I'll play them maybe next video. But let's just jump into our first story. Am I the bad guy for tipping 83 cents? Pick this one just because, that just sounds bad already, but let's see how it goes. I went out to dinner with my wife last night. When the bill came, I gave the waitress my card. She came back shortly after, looking upset. She slapped the card down on the table and said, "Declined." I thought her tone and brevity was rude. I took out a different card from my wallet and handed it to her. While I was putting the first card in my wallet, she didn't move. I looked at her and said, "You okay?" She said, "If I go back and try to run this, are you still going to be sitting here when I get back?" I asked her if she thought her tone was appropriate for speaking to customers, and she said, "You're only a customer if you pay." I asked to speak to her manager. Off the bat, I feel like this guy's kind of justified. This person's being kind of rude just because, his card was... I don't know. I feel like this is kind of a silly reaction. She left with the card. My wife said maybe the waitress had encountered scammers before and was anxious about it. I said being rude and being cautious are two different things. And the waitress returned with my card and the slip to fill out. She said, "This one worked. I'm sorry." I thanked her and took the booklet. Our bill was $91.17. I wrote in 83 cents as the tip and $92 as the total. I handed it back to her. I started to get up and leave, and she said, "You're really not going to tip me?" I said, "No, you were rude to me." She said, "I have to tip out the bartender and the busboy. I just paid money to serve you." I said, "Well, in the future, you shouldn't be so rude." My wife thinks I was an asshole to the waitress and should have given her $10 at least because it was an honest misunderstanding. I would have given her $28.83 if she wasn't rude to me. I don't want to pay to be insulted. Was I the butthole? And then he goes on to say that his bank wasn't letting the card go through because of a pending charge or something. I mean, I don't know how to feel about this guy. I mean, I think he still should have tipped a little bit more generously, but she also was extremely rude. I kind of don't know. This is kind of a hard situation. As someone who's worked in food, it's like, come on, tip me. But also, if you're going to be rude to the customer, I don't know if you should really expect a tip. We also don't know how he was talking to her, so he could have also been rude. I don't know. I'm going to leave it with, I don't know, and you guys can decide in the comments, hopefully. Next one we have from r/family drama. I hate my brother. Now that just kind of that's a fiery... Hate is a strong word, My brother is 33 male and I'm 26 female. He and I didn't get along super well as kids, but when I was in my earlier 20s, he and I became good friends. I got him a job at the restaurant I was working at when he decided to move back home, and we would hang out together, and he became a part of my friend group for a short while. He got a girl pregnant a couple years ago. That's when everything went to shit. This girl is from a somewhat pretentious family, and for some reason has always stuck her nose up to my side of the family. She's a religious Christian, and she insisted that my brother married her, or else he wouldn't be allowed to live with her and their child. We all told him not to marry her, but he did anyways. Since they've been married, he was completely alienated from our side of the family, and he never lets our parents see their grandkids. He and I got into some beef last Christmas because I posted a video of our family on Facebook, and their baby was in the video, and they do not allow anyone to post their baby on socials. My bad. I apologized and deleted the video, but he never let it go. I do understand the baby not wanting to be posted, just because there's a lot of creeps online these days. I feel like in the future, if I have kids, I don't know if I'll be posting my kids that much just from all the BS I've seen online. But I don't know. This guy sounds kind of like a lot of work. Let's continue on. Fast forward to now, our mother got very sick with pneumonia and was hospitalized. I contacted him and told him she was in the hospital. She was in the hospital for 7 days, and I went to see her and got her everything she needed every single day she was there. On my days off, I spent 6+ hours at the hospital with her, and I stayed at her house multiple days to take care of her cat while she was there too. He only very briefly came to see her once and maybe stayed 20 minutes before rushing off with his wife because she wanted him home. That's crazy. That would be, yeah, that's frustrating. That's a frustrating situation to be in, because dude, I'm taking care of our mom. It's our mom. It's not just my mom. He texted me every day and insisted I wasn't being assertive enough with the doctors and tried to tell me how to handle the whole situation. When she got out, I set everything up for her at home and made sure she knew how to use her oxygen tank and whatnot. I went to the grocery store for her and did her laundry and did everything she asked me to, which I was happy to do so. I went home that night after not being home for days, and he texted me upset that I wasn't going to continue to stay at her house. Wow, that is so rude. He hasn't even been there for her at all. I reassured him that I will still go check on her every day and take care of things. She only lives 10 minutes away from me. He told me I'm not doing anything to take care of her, and yo, that is insane. And not doing anything to take care of her while she was there. Oh my god. I lashed out and told him he's an asshole and gave him a big fuck you. He never brought her anything or did anything to help her while she was in the hospital. He never offered to take some of the load off of me so that I could have a break. I work in construction, so it's needless to say I'm exhausted at the end of the day, but I still put in full effort for my mom. He's a freelance photographer and works from home. He also lives pretty close by, so let's just say it would have been a lot easier for him to step up and do some of the things that needed to be done for our mom. Maybe hate is a strong word, but I absolutely hate the person he has become. Very valid. Oh my god. What a piece, bro. That's actually terrible. Imagine your mom is sick and not even going to see her, even though you live pretty close, it says, and you're a freelance photographer. As a freelance video editor myself, I can go out and I can do anything at any time. I just need to make sure I make up the time later. You have the time. I know this guy has the time. He's just being an ass. And his wife is just such a piece, bro. She sounds like a terrible person who has completely turned this guy into the person he's not. And I always hate when one of the boys turns against the rest of the friend group. That's the worst. Okay, this one is pretty juicy. Like the last one was intense. This one is juicy. So this one is, am I the asshole for telling my daughter that her mom cheated on me when my daughter said my new girlfriend looks like an OnlyFans chick? Woo! Wow, we got a lot going on here. Okay, a lot going on. Throwaway account and fake names. So our author, 49 male, got divorced from his ex-wife now, Emily, who is also 49, because she cheated on him with multiple men. We have a son and a daughter. Our son, Nick, 22, has always been closer to his mom, and our daughter, Skylar, has always been closer to our author. Not knowing why they got divorced, the kids took the mom's side. Our author recently started dating this woman named Lisa, who is 54. Older woman. I see it. I understand it. You know, those older women, man. She's a fun personality. She's smoking hot, and she dresses very fun. When I introduced Lisa to my kids, Nick took a liking to her while Skylar looked annoyed. Days later, Skylar said that Lisa looks like an OnlyFans chick. If you knew Skylar, you would be shocked that she would use that as a way to insult another woman. I told her that her mom, Emily, was the one who cheated on me and that I met Lisa after the divorce. Skylar just said, oh, and she got quiet. Maybe shouldn't have dropped that bomb. Just a suggestion. My ex-wife, Emily, confronted me. I reminded her that I never promised to keep her cheating a secret, and she said that I implied that it would be a secret based on the fact that I never said whether or not I would tell our kids. This guy's not the asshole. That is so silly. Do not be like, wait, you told our kids that I cheated on you and broke up our marriage? Bro, don't even. That is so crazy. That's such a crazy thing to like even, I don't know. But there is an update. Even though my daughter is in her bedroom in my house, I messaged her because she said she doesn't want to see anyone. She sent me a very, very long message she had written beforehand. In the message, my daughter admitted that her mom and her maternal aunt said those kinds of things about Lisa. She said she's embarrassed that she repeated those awful things. She said that I cheated on her mom with Lisa. She said she's not mad at me. She said she's mad at her mom. She said Lisa seems like a wonderful woman and that she wants to talk face to face with Lisa, but not anytime soon. She said she'll tell him when she's ready for that. This guy's not the asshole at all, dude. You know what? This ex-wife has to live with her consequences, and that's just how it is, dude. That's just how the cookie crumbles. Don't try to come around here saying that he's in the wrong for freaking having a new girlfriend and then manipulating the daughter to hate the new girlfriend after you cheated on him and ruined your marriage. Insane. Am I the asshole if I don't tell my gay son about this part of my past? Hi everyone, I'm new to Reddit, so I don't know if I'm doing this right. So our author is a 53-year-old dad to 3 kids, and our specific son that we're talking about is 16, and he's calling him Ethan. Basically, he's 16, and he came out a few days ago, and the father reacted very badly. I cried and basically locked myself in my room for a day straight. It's kind of a bad start. But not because he is gay. Okay. I do not care about homosexuality by itself. I love him so much, and I've always been supportive of gay people. I think even in the 90s, when it was not as accepted as it is now, I never cared about it. I even had a gay brother who was 2 years younger than me. And my breakdown to my son's coming out happened because of what happened to him. He was gay, my favorite person in the world, my best friend, my confidant. A bit scrawny, but he had a heart of gold. Genuinely the kindest person on earth, but some people decided him being gay was enough to hurt him. 3 guys attacking my baby brother because he looked at them weird. I was there. I tried to stop it, but I couldn't do anything except call the police, and only 1 guy got caught. And yet the police did nothing. That's what happens when the victim is a gay kid in Nebraska farmland, I guess. Anyway, they got away with it, even though my brother got teeth missing, a twisted wrist, and 2 broken ribs. Jesus Christ, dude. I was ready for him to say they killed his brother. I don't know if you guys realize, but I almost started crying, dude. That was kind of pulling on my heartstrings a little bit. It was someone who has 2 brothers. Ooh, that was rough. The next day, I went in to check on him. The next day when I went to check on him, he had overdosed, and I still haven't been able to finish his letter. He was 19. Wow. Dude, that did pull on my... Wow. That is so sad. Okay. And basically, I never got over it. I still cry myself to sleep some nights when I'm alone. Even more than 30 years later. And my son looks so much like him. I swear sometimes I wonder if he isn't reincarnated or something. And everything that I told you, I haven't been able to tell anyone. Not my wife, not my kids, not my gay son. They know my brother died, and I don't talk about my parents, but not what exactly happened to him, and that I disowned my parents because they were relieved they wouldn't have to hide their gay son anymore. And I do not know how to tell them. It's already hard enough to type this with very few details to strangers on the internet. I don't think I will be able to tell the ones I love, especially if they ask for details. I'm broken, I know that, but I don't know what to do. I know my son deserves an explanation, but every time I see him, I want to cry. What should I do? Dude, that is intense. Oh, that is so understandable why he would cry. That's just a hard situation. But thankfully, we do have an update. So... we can read that. So the author says, first, I told my wife. I wanted to have someone by my side when telling my son. I don't think I would have been able to otherwise, as it is still too hard to say out loud. I followed your advice and showed her this post. She cried a lot and told me I should have talked about it a long time ago. She said she was contemplating mentioning divorce to me if I didn't change because she thought I was just being hateful, but now she felt terrible. I told her it wasn't her fault and that I should really apologize to Ethan. I did not want to show him the post because it didn't feel enough to give all the harm I caused, so I decided to write a letter to him. My wife standing by my side all along. I told him I couldn't say it out loud because it hurt too much, apologized for how I reacted, and explained to him he hadn't done anything wrong. Then I explained to him exactly what happened with my baby brother, gave some more details. I do not feel comfortable writing again. Told him how much I loved him, and I was so sorry for not showing it recently because of my insecurities. That I'm so proud of him for coming out, and I will love and support him always, no matter what. Father of the Year award goes to this guy. Oh my God. After this, I gave my son the letter without a word. I actually tried saying something, but nothing came out. So Ethan grabbed the letter and went to his room to read it. I was honestly having a panic attack in my wife's arms when Ethan barged into our room crying and hugging me really tight. He said he was so sorry for my brother and that he didn't know, that he was glad I still loved him because he genuinely started to think I really hated him now. I think that's what broke me because I realized how I let my trauma make me a terrible father and let it stain my relationship with my boy. Well, my son is doing better now. Today, my son smiled at me for the first time since he came out. I'm planning on taking him to the movies tonight, just the 2 of us. Aww. And it looks like he booked a therapy appointment between the 2 of them to talk it all out. That is a beautiful story. That is so sad, but he handled it perfectly. This guy isn't even close to an asshole. If anything, this is a great man. That was a really beautiful story. This next one is a little bit less loaded than the last one. So this one is, am I the asshole for letting my ex-boyfriend dump me when he thought I had massive debt? I've been keeping an Excel workbook for years that I used to organize my personal finances. Every month it shows the total expenses, total paid, and total remaining. It's not only helpful for budgeting and remembering when stuff is due, but also removed a ton of anxiety I have around money and the nightmare I used to have that I would forget to pay something important. I used to have panic attacks, but they were cured by Excel. That is not what I see when I look at it. When I look at an Excel spreadsheet, I have a panic attack. That's honestly, this girl ain't me. This girl ain't me, that's for sure. Every month I put about half the money into my savings. My only debt is about $500 of a surprise $1,500 vet bill and my car loan, which has a payment of $200 per month and which will be paid off next year. I could pay off the car and vet right now, but having an emergency cushion that could pay all my bills for 3 to 5 months makes me feel safe. That's very smart. I gave myself a weekly allowance of $150 that I can spend however I want. Since my ex and I were becoming a little bit more serious after 6 months, we had a discussion where we decided that if things progressed, our finances would be separated, and if we moved together, we would both pay half of all expenses. This would save us both a lot of money monthly. Well, he used my laptop, where I keep the Excel document minimized. He actually brought it up, and here is where the conflict began. I put everything on my credit card every month. I really want to be able to travel, and getting mile rewards is the only way I can justify the expensive flights to places. I put everything, rent, groceries, gas, utilities, even my quarterly taxes on it. Last year, I was even able to redeem a ticket for a friend to go with me to France. I covered all the flights as well as half the Airbnb. Dude, building credit young, best thing you can do. Best thing you can do. I can't put the car payment or the vet bill on the card, but everything else goes on my miles card, which I then pay off a couple days later after paying my bills when the balance settles. I put the amount that would generally equal my credit card balance after paying bills in the spreadsheet as well, mainly as a reminder to pay the balance because I'm paranoid that I'll forget to pay it one month. However, he saw my expenses laid out and the total at the bottom and thought my expenses were nearly double what they are, since the total includes the credit card payment. I guess he also assumed that the credit card payment was the monthly payment or something, which would have made the balance insane. He also noticed that I had Macy's, Victoria's Secret, and Best Buy lines in the spreadsheet, and he assumed I had maxed out retail cards. So he stewed on it for a few days and then sat me down and said that he had been thinking about what he found and told me that he couldn't stay with me if I was going to be irresponsible, and that I didn't start calling every credit card I had right now in front of him to cancel and shred the cards in front of him, that he would break up with me. He kept talking to me about it. I tried to tell him about my savings and the fact that my actual debt was less than $4,000. He didn't believe me and called me a liar and said he couldn't trust me, so he dumped me. I cried with some of my friends who were shocked, since I've sat down with several of them who asked to help us set up a similar system of their own to help pay down debt and start savings. I guess the truth got back to him. He was mad that I let him break up with me. Even though he makes more than me, I am so much better off than him apparently. And he is really upset that if we move together, I would have been completely capable of covering my half, and he would have liked that I had a pretty large chunk in savings. I had also told him I would get us both tickets to Italy for our 1-year anniversary. I honestly don't know if I'm the bad guy or not. I could have explained the situation more clearly and calmly and been a little bit more forthcoming and transparent with my finances from the start. However, the moment I was confronted, I felt completely blindsided. This boyfriend not only went onto her computer, was reading her documents, so snooping through her stuff. I just feel like, I don't know, this guy's definitely, the poster definitely is not the bad guy in this situation. And I would say the boyfriend isn't a terrible person either, but he like delivered an ultimatum and everything. It's just kind of fricked up, you know? In this situation, I would say nobody's completely the asshole, but the boyfriend is more in the wrong than the OP, I would say. Our last story of the video is a pretty hefty one. A lot of gym goers, you might like this one. I go to the gym myself. Hit arms today. Comment down below if you hit arms as well. Am I the asshole for telling a woman at the gym that she's embarrassing herself? I go to the gym a lot. About 6-ish months ago, I noticed a woman I'll call Andrea. I don't know if Andrea started going to the gym 6 months ago or if that's just when I noticed her. Full disclosure, I spoke to her first, but I had no way of knowing what the result would be. A lot of the machines at this gym have little entertainment systems attached to them that can access local channels. I got on a treadmill and realized the TV on the treadmill wasn't working. Andrea was walking past and I said, "Hey, do you know if there's an issue with the cable? This TV isn't working." But I don't know if it's just one of them or all of them. She said the same thing happened to her on a different machine. I thanked her, and that was the whole interaction. A week later, she asked me for some electrolyte powder for her water. I said I didn't have any. She was cool with that and asked me how long I'd been coming to the gym and what I did for work. I answered and returned her questions. She said she was new to the area and worked in private security. 6 weeks ago, she asked me out. For reasons I won't get into here, I wasn't interested. I declined. She said not to worry about things being awkward at the gym if we don't work out. I said that wasn't the issue, just not looking to date right now. That's reasonable, and yeah. She kept talking to me, and at first I kept talking to her, but I started to think something might be wrong, and I started avoiding her. 2 weeks ago, she walked up to me while I was on a machine with only one way to properly dismount that involved stepping into where she was standing. She asked if I was avoiding her. I said I was, and I apologized. I said I just don't want to date right now. She said that I don't have to avoid her to not date her. I said okay. I kept avoiding her though. Tonight while I was working out, she confronted me again about avoiding her. I had a bad day and told her to leave me alone. She asked why I'm being such a prick, and I said because I want her to leave me alone. I then said that she was embarrassing herself and needs to stop. She put her foot on top of the weights, and I thought she was going to press down on them, so I let go of the bar very quickly, causing the weights to slam and make a loud noise. Several people looked over. Okay. Putting your foot on top of the weights is insane. You could have killed this guy, dude. I wonder what machine it was where she could have done that. That's just, yeah. She said, now who's embarrassing himself? And walked away? Did I go too far by saying that? And do I owe her an apology? This is a tiny little update. There's a lot of updates to the story. I went in early this morning for a run and told the front desk staff about Andrea putting her foot on the weights. They said they would talk to her. Then after work, I went in again for a regular workout. I was working on my legs when she walked up to my machine. The first thing she did was apologize about the weights. I don't know if someone talked to her or if that was of her own initiative. I accepted her apology and apologized for saying she was embarrassing herself. She said she forgave me, but if I wanted to really make it up to her, I could buy her a drink and she would buy me one too to make up for the weights. I said maybe we should buy our own drinks, meaning separately at different places and times, and she misunderstood, asked me when and where. I told her I meant that I didn't want to go out with her. She said this wouldn't be a date, but a reset for our friendship. I said I don't want to be friends. She said I was being a douche and asked what my problem was. I said the weight incident made me uncomfortable and I'd rather just give each other space. And then she asked if my problem with her is that she's a Hispanic? That's insane. That is actually insane. You're gonna almost kill this guy and is it because pull the race card? Wow, pulling the race card. I was so taken aback. I didn't even know she was until she said that. I said no, that she just makes me uncomfortable. She wanted me to explain about her made me uncomfortable, and I tried to do so, but she argued with every point I made. I got frustrated and told her to just stay away from me. She said fine, and that I have a lot of maturing to do. Then she walked away. I'm hoping that's the end of it. This woman is insane. She's actually just insane. How are you so oh my God. How are you so entitled that you are still trying to go with this guy after being such a douche, you know? Just being an asshole. So here's another update. Andrea is banned from the gym. Let's go, dude. Let's freaking go. I was running on the treadmill and watching TV. She came up to talk to me and I ignored her, staring at the TV. She raised her voice and I continued to ignore her. She reached out and pulled the safety tab on the treadmill, the one you connect to your wrist so the treadmill stops if you fall, causing the treadmill to a sudden stop. I tripped and fell onto the controls and TV, scratching my chin on the top of the screen. What a psycho! She pulled the cord on his treadmill and got him hurt? This woman's insane. I went to the front desk with Andrea, as you should. I told them what she did, as he should. She kept trying to interrupt me and talk over me, but the woman at the front desk told her to be quiet and wait her turn. I told Andrea, pulled out the safety tab while I was running and injured me. The woman at the front desk then asked Andrea what happened. Andrea said I was staring into the middle distance, like I was in some kind of fugue state, and she thought I was having a medical episode, so she pulled the tab. The woman at the front desk asked for a membership card. Andrea didn't want to give it to her, but the woman at the front desk said that if she didn't, she would ban her. Andrea gave her the card, and the woman at the front desk said to leave, and she was suspended for a month. Andrea objected to it and got into an argument with the woman at the front desk that escalated into calling the woman an N-word, B-word. So she was banned permanently. Dude, this girl's racist too? That poor gym. Oh my God. Dude, this guy isn't in the wrong at all. This woman's insane. So there's another update. Okay. Last night, I went to a bar near my apartment to meet up with some friends. The three of us were drinking and having a good time when Andrea walked up. I never saw her enter the bar. I only noticed when she was in front of us. She greeted me and said it was good to see me and then leaned in to try to kiss me. I pushed away from me and she fell, but one of my friends caught her. She started yelling at me, asking what the F is wrong with me. I told her to stay away from me, but not come any closer. She asked if I was embarrassed of her and didn't want my friends to see her. I said, this is the third time you've tried to assault me and I want you to stay away from me. At that point, the bouncer showed up to ask what was going on. Andrea said I pushed her. I tried to explain that she tried to kiss me and is stalking me, but I was drunk and not doing a great job. My friends also tried to explain that they were innocent, but they were also drunk. Security kicked me out of the bar and my friends walked me home. I'm definitely going to try to get a restraining order. This has gone too far. Is there more? I need to look to see if there's more of this. So we have another update to this story in the comments. This woman is even more insane than we thought. She showed up in the parking lot yesterday of my work, so she was arrested and trespassed from the facility. I imagine she'll post bail this morning since trespassing isn't that serious of an offense, but it is good that this is all on record. Bro, this is insane. What an insane person. How are you gonna, like, they literally had no chemistry. He didn't like her at all at any point in the story or even give her a hint that he did, and she is absolutely just bouncing on it, dude. This is insane. Well, if you guys like this video, I really appreciate you guys watching to the end if you're here. Like I said at the start of the video, if you have any custom zombies maps or just regular zombies maps in general, you want me to play it in the next video, and I'll make sure to include your name if you recommended it to me. I hope you guys have a fantastic day and enjoyed these stories like I did. Peace.